Hi friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. From today, I will start teaching about the React. React is a JavaScript library for building the user interfaces for the websites and web applications. So I can say using the React, you can develop the front end of the websites and web applications. In a full stack development, you will learn about how to develop the front end of the websites and web applications, backend and the database connectivity. So here in React, I will start teaching about how can you develop the front end for the websites and web applications. So I sincerely request everyone to watch all the videos in the playlist in a sequence to learn the React effectively. In this video, I will teach about what is a React, why you should learn React, and what are the prerequisites before you learn about the React. So I sincerely request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. React is a JavaScript library for building the user interfaces. Lot of people will think that React is a framework. No, React is not a framework, it is a JavaScript library. React is used to build single page applications. Now what is meant by single page application? A single page application is a website or web application that dynamically rewrites an existing page with new information from the web servers. If you look at the Gmail, Netflix, PayPal, Facebook, WhatsApp, these are the examples for the single page web application. Now what is meant by single page application? It dynamically rewrites an existing information with the new information from the web server. So it will run in a single page. In a single HTML page, you will do everything. In the web page, only the information will dynamically change. So that's why I can say that React is used to build single page applications like Gmail, Netflix, PayPal, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, etc. And React is an open source, component based front end library which is only responsible for the view layer of the application. So I can say it is an open source and it is a component based architecture. Basically it has four components. One is the header component, side nav component, main content component, footer component. These components are the heart of all React applications. React was initially developed and maintained by Facebook, and later React was used in developing the products like WhatsApp and Instagram. Now, as the Facebook has developed it and Facebook is using in its products like WhatsApp and Instagram, so we can trust the React and we can learn the React, and also we can use the React to develop the front end for the web applications, and these web applications are the single page web application. If you look at the websites these days, they use the model view control architecture. In the model view control architecture, you will have three things. One is the model, view, controller. What is the role of the model? Model handles the data logic and also it interacts with the database. So the model main responsibilities, it handles the data logic and also it is useful for you to interact with the database, whereas the view is responsible for handling the data presentation. Whatever the data you have, how you are presenting the data will be handled by the view, and it is also useful to render the final output. So whatever the web application you are able to see, that is what I can say it is a view. And the controller handles the request flow. Your request flows will be there, right? All these request flows will be controlled by the controller. So these days the websites are using the MVC architecture, which is a model view control architecture. In the MVC architecture, React only talks about the view. It does not talks about the model and controller, because The React is a JavaScript library which is useful for you to develop the front end or the user interfaces only. So in MVC architecture, React's mainly look about the view. React is declarative. What is meant by declarative is tell React what you want, and React with the help of React DOM library will build the actual user interface. So you no need to tell the React how the flow should be. Whatever you want, you just tell to the React, and then React with the help of the React DOM library will build the actual user interface. Let me discuss this declarative and imperative with a simple example. Let's go to an artist and you ask him to develop a landscape. Then you no need to tell him how to do it. He will do it by himself and he will give you. But if you ask the same thing to a 5 years old child to draw a landscape, then you need to tell him first draw the mountain, river, trees, etc. So we need to specify each step. So that's why I can say that it is imperative. When it comes to the React, it is a declarative. You no need to tell the each step specifically. You just tell what you want. Then React will build the actual user interface. React uses the virtual DOM based mechanism to fill the data in the web page. When it comes to the previous framework like Angular and Node, they uses the traditional data flow structure. Before discussing about the traditional data flow structure and virtual DOM, let me discuss about the DOM, what is a DOM, and what is the drawback of the previous frameworks like Angular and Node, then how these problems has been overcome in the React. All these things I will discuss. The full form of DOM is Document Object Model, which is an object which is created by the browser each time a web page is loaded. Whenever you are loading any web page, a DOM will be created. So which is an object will be created, and it is responsible to add or remove the data at the backend whenever any modifications are done, and in each time a new DOM is created for the same web page. So whenever you are reloading the web page, a new DOM will be created, so a new object will be created. This repeated creation of DOM makes unnecessary memory wastage and reduce the performance of the application, because whenever you are reloading the same page, you are creating a DOM which is an object, which every time if you are creating an object, then obviously memory wastage will happen, and also it reduces the performance of the application. So all the previous frameworks like Angular and Node, they are using the traditional document object model. Whatever the drawbacks I have discussed like memory wastage and reduce the performance of these applications are there in the previous frameworks like Angular and Node. To overcome this problem, the React uses the virtual DOM, which is a virtual document object model. The virtual DOM works fast as it only changes individual DOM elements. As I said earlier, the React uses the component based architecture. Basically it has 4 components such as header, side nav, main content, footer. So it only changes the individual DOM elements, whereas the previous architecture reloads the complete DOM every time. So that's why the virtual DOM is fast as compared to the traditional document object model. The previous frameworks like Angular Node uses the traditional document object model, and it has few demerits like memory wastage and performance of the web application also reduced. These drawbacks has been overcome in the React with the introduction of the concept called virtual document object model. As I said earlier, React allows you to divide your entire application into various components. You will have the header component, side nav, main content and footer. These components make it possible to write reusable code. You can reuse the same code. Like you have the side nav in the left side, you can use the side nav for the right side also. So you are reusing it. So that is the beauty of the React, which as it is uses the component based architecture. I have discussed what is a React and why you should use the React. Now let me discuss what are the prerequisites should have to learn the React. You should know about HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So I sincerely request everyone, before learning the React, you should have good knowledge about the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. If you does not know HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I sincerely request you to check in my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I have already completed the HTML, CSS and JavaScript from the scratch. So you please watch those videos and learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript effectively, then learn the React so that you can develop the good web application. In this video, I have discussed about the introduction to React, why you should learn React, and what is the advantage of React as compared to the previous frameworks like Angular and Node. If you still have any doubts related to any concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.